this is the typical rib, and this is the anterior part, anterior end, and this is the posterior end. Posterior end has head, neck and tubercle. The head has two articular facet, that is inferior facet and superior facet. Inferior facet, if I see the picture, this is inferior facet and this is superior facet. The inferior facet articulates with the body of the corresponding vertebra. The inferior facet, this is the inferior facet, and this facet is larger than the superior facet. It articulates with the corresponding body of the corresponding vertebra, that is in this way. This is the body of the vertebra, and here is the demifacet for the articulation of rib, like this way. The superior facet articulates with the upper vertebra, like this way. This is the upper vertebra, and in this way the articulation. Then here is a crest. That crest divide these two facet, the inferior facet and superior facet divide by a crest. And here is a muscle attachment, that is radiate ligament. Here is the attachment, it is radiate ligament. And here also intra-articular ligament attached. দেন নেকের রিলেশনে আসি। নেকের ক্ষেত্রে হচ্ছে নেকের অ্যাটাচমেন্ট, নেকের আমরা এইদিকে দেখতেছি, ইন দিস সাইড দিস ইজ anterior smooth, anterior side is smooth and posterior side is rough. Anterior side smooth and posterior side rough. The neck has two border and two surface. Two surface is anterior surface and posterior surface, and border is upper border and lower border. Upper border and lower border. Here the muscle attachment is in the upper border. Here is the attachment of superior costotransverse ligament. Superior costotransverse ligament attached with the upper border of the neck. Upper border of the neck, superior costotransverse ligament. Then the posterior surface, the attachment is inferior costotransverse ligament. The upper border is superior costotransverse ligament, and the posterior surface, here is the attachment of inferior costotransverse ligament. Then tubercle has a non-articular and articular part and a non-articular part. This is the articular part. Articular part is oval shaped, and non-articular part is this one is non-articular part, and this one is articular part. The articular part articulates with the transverse process of the vertebra. Like this way. Articulates with the transverse process of the vertebra. This is the transverse process of the vertebra, these two. Then the non-articular part, this is the non-articular part. Here is the attachment, that is lateral costotransverse ligament. The attachment of tubercle, the non-articular part has an attachment, that is lateral costotransverse ligament. Then the body of the rib has two border and two surface. The border is superior or upper border and inferior or lower border. Superior or upper border and inferior or lower border, and it has two surface, that is outer surface and inner surface. Outer surface and inner surface. Superior border is smooth and kind of rounded, smooth and rounded. It has two lip. One is outer lip and inner lip. If I think like this way, this is the upper border, this is the upper border, and it is outer lip, and this is inner lip. Okay, in outer lip there is a in outer lip and inner lip there is a muscle attachment. Before that, the lower border also has a muscle attachment, that is external intercostal muscle or intercostalis externus, and the lower border have a costal groove. This is the costal groove, this is the costal groove, and costal groove has floor like this way. Costal groove, here is the inner lip, outer lip, and this is the floor of costal groove. The attachment is the outer lip, here is the attachment of externus, intercostal externus muscle. The floor, here is the attachment of intercostal internus muscle, internus, and the upper lip has the attachment of intercostalis intimus muscle. If we think these are two rib on this is the lower border and this is the upper border. The lower border of the rib has costal groove. The outer lip of costal groove have the origin of intercostalis externus muscle, and that muscle will be insertion will be in the upper border, the outer lip of the upper border. Like this is the higher rib and this is the lower rib, and this black marked area is the outer lip of the costal groove, and the green marked area is the outer lip of the upper border, and there will be attachment of muscle, that is intercostalis externus. The lower lip of the upper rib, lower lip, here is the origin of intercostalis externus, and the upper lip outer lip of the upper border, here is the insertion of intercostalis externus muscle. Intercostalis externus muscle. The costal groove has upper lip, floor, and lower lip or outer lip. The muscles are in the lower lip. This externus muscle. Intercostal is externus muscle. Then the floor. This is the floor of the costal groove. This is the floor of the costal groove. It has the attachment of intercostalis internus muscle, and this is the upper lip of the costal groove. That is, the attachment is intercostalis intimus. Intercostalis intimus.